Sup fellas, it's Metaferno here, and today I'm bringing you 5 more carts, this time for Sonic characters. And the way I chose these characters was by randomly selecting them. I'm mostly joking, but it was actually I wanted to experiment with some mods based off characters, so I chose characters that had mods. And I've been using a mod to get like these cool shots in all these Sonic CrossWorlds videos. So I'm going to try and have links to the mods down below in the description, but I'll see. But all these mods are pretty cool, and you should check out the creators of them, which I'll hopefully have down there. So anyways, yeah, I chose these 5 characters, one for each cart class or character class, based off of getting some mods and having a variety of like comic book, video game, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a random selection, overall. So we're going to have Sally, Emerl, Trip, Mephiles, and Chaos, which is the ones I found mod for, and I know it's mostly game characters and like a comic book character, and like one classic, I guess. But yeah, I really wanted to show them off with mods because I think it really enhances the way the carts look when it has the person I made the cart for. Again, would be really sick to get any of these characters in the game, even though I know that's like very wishful thinking. Especially for our first cart here we'll start with is the Sally cart. So starting off here, you can see this is Sally's cart. I went with her whole reboot design having a lot more like blue and whites and multiple colors like that, and kind of made it a cart based off those colors, because I think a cart based off like her like browns and stuff doesn't look as good. I tried, but I kind of liked how the blue turned out more. So I got the Royal Chariot front end, from Blaze, which I think works a lot because they're both, princesses and all that. Then I have the Speedster Lightning, back from Sonic. I just kind of think it made it look slick overall. And then I have the Stealth Chaser wheels, the SBO cart, and I think it just gives it overall, all 3 of these together, a nice and slick look. And it's called the Royal Lightning, which is kind of a funny one. Kind of fits, I guess. Then you can see here, these are the colors I used for that. Like I mentioned, went with a lot of blues and stuff based off her like redesign, especially with those arm blades and stuff. When we get to the decals, you can see a lot of the decals I based off like her sword things she can do post reboot and all that. And to just give the car a little bit more pop of color, I do think this might be one of the weaker cars I did, but I think it's okay overall. Then out of all the horns, I decided on Guitar again to go with those blades that she has, But this is definitely one I could change and all, even though I know the horns aren't the biggest deal. But yeah, that's the Sally Acorn cart overall. It would be really cool to ever get Sally in anything, honestly, again, like comic or otherwise, but I know that's probably a rough one to get eventually. I do hope that she gets representation in something, even if it's like a mobile game or just another comic, because Sally is a really cool character, and she would be awesome in this game. But yeah, that's the Sally cart. Hope you guys like that one. And we'll be moving on to the next one, but like last time, I'll let the cart be shown off a little bit, at the end of each one of these segments in a race and stuff. You can always skip through if you just want to get to the explanations, or just look at the cool race camera angle part if you want. Either way is fine. Next up, we got one of my favorite characters from Sonic and carts. The way it turned out, I like a lot, is the Emerl cart, based off, Emerl and all that. And as you can see, it's actually really simple and straightforward. His colors are really easy to match because he's a robot and all that. It's pretty simple. But I went with the Cyber Spear front end because I kind of think it looks like his head fin thing and all that. And then I went with the Pawn Caliber or whatever for the back end, just to kind of give it a slick, flat look, because I felt like that worked a lot for Emerl. Same with the wheels from the Pawn Caliber too, and I just thought they looked cool for this cart. Here's the color scheme I used all over it. Like I mentioned before, Emeralds was way easier to translate than a character like Sally to a cart color, so I really like the way it turned out. Then I really love how I got the decals to come out. Even if they're really simple, I think it was a really cool idea on my part to go for making his fin with that like circle with this slit in the middle kind of thing. I think it actually turned out really well on the front. On the back, maybe not as good, but I have his like 3 circles from his chest on the back of the kart in the one spot I could. Like I said, overall the decals are really simple, but Emerl's design is actually simple, and I think this is one of my favorite cards I've done. Then his horn is the game over, just because I thought it kind of fit with the cart well and thought it was kind of funny, you know, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, that's the Emerald cart, and this is probably my personal favorite of the day, but we'll have to see what you guys think after we show them all off. Next we got one of the cards I think might be weaker, but I thought it was really fun to do, and it's a very new character. It's the Trip cart. So as you can see, the Trip cart is a handling cart, very tiny and all that, trying to, you know, match Trip a little bit, but I feel like Cream and Trip have a bit in common, so I started with the little lady front end, which I think works well for this cart. Then I used the Moto Beetle back end because I just kind of liked how it looked for this cart, and like the armor kind of fits with like Trip's sun gazer thing a little bit. I feel like it could be a little off of that, but that was my assumption. And same with the wheels being like a little more armored, or like kind of dragon-like, kind of lizard-like thing. But yeah, it's the fossil rock wheels, I should mention when I say that. And this is the colors I used for this cart, just overall trying to match Trip as closely as I could. Nothing too complicated on this one. Then on the decals, you can see it's extremely simple. The front one's just supposed to match like her head with like the red and the way it ties in and all that. And the back ones, I just kind of is like I slapped them on. I was trying to do a little like crest thing she has, but you can't overlap stickers. So I kind of just added a little popsicle on the back. She has the ring horn. I just thought it looked pretty pleasant with this cart. So yeah, that is the Trip cart. Like I said, overall, probably my least favorite one I have this video, but I think it turned out alright. And I thought this one was really fun to do, is the Mephiles cart. And I had been mentioning it with the other characters, but I kind of felt like all of them fit their character classes that I chose for them. And that's why I went with Power for Mephiles, because that's kind of the vibe I get from Mephiles, you know, when I look at him. So I went with a big, old, powerful cart. And also Power has the Beast Spike, the Werehog's cart. And I think it just fits with Mephiles' vibe, with all the sharp points and teeth and looking like a monster. And I went with the Beat Gator back end, again for more spikes and stuff, and to spice it up and not just make it a Werehog cart, you know. Because I also used the Beast Spike wheels, again, for a lot of spikes, and mainly just spikes and angles and stuff, and I feel like it kind of fits for Mephiles to have all that. Now you can see on the paint scheme here, it's a little more all over the place than some of the others with like the glossing and the metallics and all that. But I think it kind of fits with Mephiles' more weird and out there look. Then the decals on this one are really simple. I only really added like his little stripe on his head, on the front for now. I didn't want to go overboard because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with them. And I kind of liked how the purple already looked for Mephiles. Now on the back, I just added some little bit of color pops on each side. Then on the horn, I just used a guitar because I feel like the colors match Mephiles better than anything else, but the horn is kind of a throw on this one. I didn't really have an exact one I wanted to go for or anything. But yeah, that is the Mephiles cart. I want it to be big and like monstrous and stuff, but I think it fits Mephiles pretty well. And like I mentioned even in the last kart custom video, the boards are a lot simpler than the cars, so it'll be a little quick in this section. But I thought Chaos would fit boards actually really well. I don't know specifically why, but it just kind of feels like if he was ever in this game, that he would ride a hoverboard. So on the Chaos board, I just went with the Type S Stream and the Sakura board for the back. I just wanted to make the board look like kind of smooth and like sleek, kind of like how Chaos looks. So then, like I said before, the colors are really simple on the board. It's just a lot of blues with differing metallics and pearls and stuff to make it all look a little more like as close as I could to water, you know. On the decals, the front's a little more complicated. If you can see, I really tried to make it look like his brain on the front, and I know it might be a little silly because it's just a pink blob, but that's kind of all I had for that to make it really Chaos. And then I added on the back and front just a couple pieces to look like ripples in the water or waves, because I thought it helped the look a little bit. And that is Chaos's hoverboard. I think overall this one's super simple, but I kind of like how it turned out. Pretty simple but clean. So yeah, that is the 5 characters I did for this episode of Custom Karts, one for each class. We got Sally in Speed, Trip in Handling, Emerl in Acceleration, Mephiles in Power, and Chaos in Boost. And again, I think it would be super cool if any of these characters could be ever added to this game. Again, I don't know how long they'll support this game or how many characters they'll add or anything. And I know like out of all these, I could see a case for the 4 of them and maybe not Sally. But it would be really cool if they ever could. But I know Sally's basically been pushed as far as she can be to the side, which is sad because, like I said, Sally's a really cool character. I hope she gets to be in something again one day. But yeah, those are the 5 cards for 5 Sonic characters, and let me know what one of them is your favorite down in the comments, and what Sonic characters or other characters you want to see in one of these 5 custom cards. I won't know if all the other kart videos I'll do will have mods. I just thought it would be fun to add in mods for this one to really spice it up or make it look cool. But not all the characters I want to do have mods and all that, and I don't know how to mod personally. I'll be trying to put links to all the mods I used in this video, plus the photo mod I used to make my videos down in the description. If not, they're all on Game Banana, and you can find them by just kind of searching through the character list or the character's names specific. But yeah, very cool mods, and I think the mod creators did a great job. I think that's all I got for today, but yeah, tell me what one's your favorite. See you guys later, and God bless.